Good morning, friends. Today I am discussing paper 3.2 Soft Skills for Business for third semester BBA, Bangalore University, Unit number 1 Elements of Communication. In Elements of Communication, Session 6 Types of Nonverbal Communication, that is paralanguage. It is the third important non-verbal communication. Before going to the main aspect of paralanguage and the various contents coming under it, let us have the recap of the last class. In the last class, we had a discussion on meaning of proxemics, and we had a discussion on types of proxemics or informal space, where we have studied how to make use of available space in different situations when we are with the people with close and intimate relationship, when we are with the contact with peer groups and colleagues, when we are in official and social gathering, or when we are in a public speech. We have discussed the roles and duties of a speaker or communicator, how he or she should make use of the available space area in a proper manner to have proper speaking and listening process to complete in the most appropriate manner. And we have also had a discussion on different question and answers, study materials, etc. Now let us discuss the third important type of non-verbal communication, that is paralanguage. Paralanguage is the study of voice quality, voice volume, speech rate, and the manner of speaking beyond the said words. You can see the definition on the screen. It says it is the study of voice quality, use of volume, speech rate, that is the speed, and the manner of speaking the said beyond the said words. It is one of the important aspect of paralanguage that judges the person's ability to speak and convince others depends upon the type of voice quality he or she has, the use of volume, whether it is too high or too low, the speech rate, whether the person is speaking very fastly or very slowly, or the mannerism he or she expresses beyond the said words when he or she is communicating. It concentrates on, you can see in inverted commas, how of speaker's voice rather than what of words. That means to say that complete mannerism, how a person is speaking rather than what he is speaking. Whether a person is speaking in an effective and efficient manner so that he or she can convince the audience or the interested parties rather than what he or she is speaking. How is important. This study of vocalization gives clues about speaker's social standing and his or her personality. There are so many examples about paralanguage here. Deep throaty voice indicates maturity of man. Flat voice indicates person's lack of interest. Shaky voice indicates nervousness of the speaker. Broken voice reveals lack of preparation. Clear voice reveals confidence. After all, these are the very important aspects that should be present when a person is dealing with so many other interested parties, wherein every day he or she need to communicate with all these interested parties for one or the other reason. It could be of passing or sending the message or information. It could be of reporting something to higher authorities. It could be of giving a presentation about some idea, etc. You must have seen there are so many people who might have participated in debate competition, who are into the spokespersons or representatives of one particular organization or association or group of individuals. The people in the field of journalism, the scientists, the people in the field of print, electronic and print media, the people in the field of film industry, the people in the field of competitions like singing, debate, group discussions, brainstorming sessions, etc. In all these activities, paralanguage matters. Paralanguage is one of the important aspect of or type of non-verbal communication which clearly gives the idea to the listener about the speaker's ability, about the speaker's knowledge and wisdom, about the speaker's attitude, about the speaker's personality, about the speaker's leadership, about the speaker's skills in communicating the interested aspect or the proposed aspect to convince the audience or to convince the interested parties. Dear students, when we were in high school, the teachers who were handling languages to us used to explain the poems in a very interesting way by modulation of their voice, by the speed of their voice. We were having lot of interest at that time, but we are not so matured to judge about modulation and its power in convincing the listener. But now it has become one of the important area where voice modulation or vocalization will give us a clear idea about one's personality. If some person is having a deep throaty voice, indicates maturity, who speaks louder. If a person speaks with low voice, it indicates lack of confidence, and so on. Therefore, study of voice, use of voice for using the various terms and terminologies, phrases to communicate properly with the audience or the interested parties matters. Ordering in a loud voice is an indication of egoism, bossism. The same order could be put in smooth words in a smooth way, like request. Get me a glass of water. Could you please give me a glass of water? Get lost from here. I think you are getting late. Or some of the examples of voice modulation. Voice modulation or vocalization, the pronunciation of words, the use of speed matters. If a person keeps on speaking with high speed, the audience may not be able to understand what he or she is speaking, because there is a limit for listening. Even though the communicatee is a attentive listener, for them also it becomes difficult to concentrate on the words and vocabulary used if he or she speaks very fast. After all, the very basic meaning of communication, whether you are communicating verbally or non-verbally, is that the person who is speaking and the person who is listening both should understand in a similar way or similar manner, and both should start giving feedbacks and responses. Otherwise, it will not be a communication. So, paralanguage or use of voice quality, volume, speed, and the manner in which it is expressed always matters. You must have seen the technique of paralanguage used by the film stars when they are in happy and joyous mood, when they are in the sad mood, when they are in the aggressive mood, voice changes, and this change of voice give an indication to the listener about something that they perceive and understand. The people in journalism who are reporting from the spots of some happenings, it could be a political function, it could be an interview with a icon, it could be reporting from the war field, it could be the reporting from the flood affected area, or it could be from the hospitals or any organization. Voice modulation matters. In fact, it is an important type of non-verbal communication which clearly explains about the personality of a person in the negative or positive manner. It gives a signal to the listener about the communicator, whether the listener is confident, aggressive, nervous, lacks confidence, and so on. Therefore, let us discuss what are the various elements which comes under a paralanguage that the communicator or communicatee should know in order to make use of these tricks and techniques in their daily communication to make it more effective and efficient. Let us discuss one by one. Subcategories or elements of paralanguage. The first one is tone. You can see the definition on your screen. It is the physical level at which sound of human voice is transmitted. Physically, the sound of human voice is transmitted. It is the sound. Whatever I am speaking now, you are listening. That means my sound is transmitted to you. If I physically transmit the sound in the positive way, it will positively affect you or the person to whom this is meant for, they take it positively. If it is conveyed in other than positive manner, it will reach the unreachable as negative tone. Sometimes the use of tone play a very important role either to make or break a situation, either to bring an agreement or disagreement between the parties. So, physically, human voice play a very important role. So many examples are there, but let me finish one by one. The second important element of paralanguage is pitch. It is the measure of how high or low a voice is. That means to say that, as already discussed, if the pitch is very high, it shows confidence. If it is low or broken, it interprets lack of confidence. Sometimes if the pitch is very high, you can even interpret it as egoism. Whenever the high or low pitch of voice is measured, there will be vibrations in the voice, vocal folds. Higher the voice, higher the pitch, and faster is the rate of vibrations. And lower the voice or lower the pitch, slower will be the rate of vibrations. So in order to bring positive vibration, the communicator should understand how to communicate in order to bring positive vibes and positive vibrations with the interested parties. The talk or communication should not be so dull that there are no vibrations at all, and there is no involvement with others. The others do not want to involve in the discussion. It should not be there. So pitch is the measure of how high or low a voice is. What is the speed of vibration of the vocal folds? Using of high or low voice is an art itself. When a situation demands, the voice needs to be brought to the high level. The communicator may make use of high voice. If the situation demands, the voice needs to be kept low and the vibrations kept to be kept low. The communicator need to keep the pitch low to get the work done. Usually it so happens that when a person with higher hierarchy or cadre in the hierarchy uses high voice to get the work done, and if the person who is in mistake or if the person who has not completed the task in time may make use of low voice with low vibrations to convince the higher authorities in a particular situation, or if the person who has not completed the task given may make use of low voice. Sometimes different types of personalities are there. See, there are some extrovert personalities, there are some introvert personalities, there are some dynamic personalities, there are some democratic personalities, there are some autocratic personalities. Different types of personalities are there in a working environment where the type of communication differs from each other. A person may make use of the pitch of voice depending upon the nature of the personality they possess. It is a character in themselves. Sometimes the people in the higher cadre may have to alter themselves in their voice to get the work done. So that is also there. The third important element of paralanguage is intensity. It refers to the volume or loudness or softness of the voice. A person with weak voice intensity is perceived as lacking confidence. I have already discussed with you how the intensity of voice matters for judging a particular person and their personality. The person with high voice will have more confidence. The person with low voice will have lacking confidence. Let us discuss the next subcategories or elements of paralanguage. That is the fourth one, rhythm. Rhythm refers to the modulations of stressed and unstressed elements in the flow of communication. These rhythms are commonly used to express different range of emotions. Rhythms, in other words, refers to the modulations in the form of stressed or unstressed elements in the flow of speech or in the flow of communication. These rhythms are commonly used to express different range of emotions. When the emotion is a situation where somebody is participating in the birthday party, the type of modulation is different in voice. If somebody has attended the sad demise of someone, the voice modulation is different. If somebody is speaking in a program with the large number of audience, the voice modulation is different. Therefore, rhythm is nothing but modulation of stressed and unstressed elements in the flow of speech. The last one is tempo. It refers to the rate at which one speaks. If the speaker speaks too slowly, the audience shall lose interest. On the other hand, if the speaker speaks quickly, his message will not be reached as credible. Therefore, I have already discussed this in the last class, or in the same class, that if the person speaks too slowly, there are chances that maximum number of listeners may not concentrate on what he or she is speaking and may not give too much of importance to giving feedback to it, or may not learn from why they have gathered there and what is the thing that they are taking back from there. They may not learn, they may not respond, they may not give any feedback. And if the person is very fast, quickly he is speaking, there is a problem wherein they may not be able to understand the do's and don'ts. Therefore, when a person is speaking, the tempo should be stable. Whenever it requires speed, then only speed should be followed. Whenever speed is not required, the stable, proper tempo should be maintained so that the communication becomes effective, and there should be a proper understanding between the person who is communicating and the listeners. Therefore, dear students, there are so many things to learn in paralanguage. It is a very big aspect. It has become a new subject now in nonverbal communication. There are so many examples in the study material. You can refer to for each one of these elements. You can refer other study materials. You can refer the online sources available to learn more about the paralanguage and learn more. So, let us summarize today's class. Today we have discussed about the study of paralanguage and its elements like tone, pitch, intensity, rhythm, tempo, etc. They help to make use of voice and modulation to make communication effective. It concentrates on how of speaker's voice rather than what of words. This is a very important quotation. This study of vocalization gives clues about speaker's social standing and his or her personality, whether they are mature, whether they are lack interest, whether they are more confident or whether they are nervous, whether they are aggressive, whether they are shy. We will come to know all these things through the study of paralanguage. Why we are studying this? Because one or the other day we are going to work in corporate world. When you go to a corporate world without knowing these basics about verbal and non-verbal communication, then it becomes very difficult for anyone to manage the situation and to manage themselves and to match themselves with the current situation. Because we should learn and we should keep on learning about the important aspects of work culture, of work environment, which will give us a strength and confidence so that we can mingle, so that we can work, so that we can give very good output in an organization. If we are unaware about all these aspects, then it becomes very difficult for us to actually enter into the labor market or entering into the work environment, and then learning becomes a difficult task for us. So before entering into the world of corporate culture or working environment, we should know all these things in advance. There may be advancements in all these things in future, but we need to know some of the fundamental things like this non-verbal communication, what we are discussing from the last 3 classes. So dear students, I will be sending you some of the questions relating to paralanguage, descriptive questions relating to paralanguage. Already I have given you the study material, go through it. Please refer other books also other than the study material provided, so that you can learn more about this non-verbal communication, so that your knowledge should not become limited, and see to it that you gain more out of this. So today I am closing my class. So next class I will be discussing one more type of non-verbal communication. Till then, stay home, stay safe, take care, bye-bye.